actually, I'd be happy when I got sent to my room. So I would purposely do bad things.
Orianthi, welcome to Life in Six Strings. How's everything going?
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Very good. My guitar is keeping me sane right now. So yeah, it's been a fun journey. So I like to ask everyone that comes on the show, what inspired you to pick up the guitar and start your own guitar journey?
My dad, my dad's a guitar player. He's a left-handed guitar player, so I actually learned left-handed before playing right-handed. So I was like 6 years old, and he was playing Hendrix and BB King, and just Santana, Abraxas. Santana, Abraxas is probably the record that changed my life completely.
Oh,
After
really?
hearing Europa was just like the turning point for me, because Carlos Santana, he's such an incredible guitar player. My dad is too. He's great. He taught me a few chords initially and how to strum. But when I heard Europa and when I saw Santana live, I was like blown away. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, because his tone, his choice of notes, everything just really hit me. So it was kind of like that, that moment where you go, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because I was kind of studying classical at the time. And that kind of felt like school to me. And I quit school when I was 15, got out of there, played 3 nights a week in a pub band, and then got a record deal when I was like 20 and moved to America, Jimmy Iovine. So it's taking me on a real journey, but I just kind of stuck with it. And when I first started playing, there weren't many female guitar players. So it was kind of a weird thing, because I had like, Bonnie Raitt and Sister Rosetta Thorpe and Jennifer Batten to look up to, but not too many. And Nancy Wilson, of course, I'm a
Yeah.
huge heart. So yeah, but so it was kind of weird when I came over to NAM here and I got signed. It's kind of like a gimmick kind of thing. I felt, kind of weird. But now I think it's like 52% like female guitar players now, something like that, like more than
Yeah,
guys,
it
which is
is.
crazy. It's awesome. So I'm like really excited about that.
So you were a massive Santana fan, and then you actually got to play with him when you were what? How old were you? Was that 18 or something?
I was 18 years old, and when I was 14, I actually sent his management team a copy of my demo, which I did at home with my dad. And I got an email back from his brother, "You're a gay Santana." And they said, "We've been playing your record in the offices and we really dig it." I'm like, that's amazing. Like, I was like totally blown away. And then after that, I was like 18, he came to Adelaide, Australia. And I got to jam out with him, got up on stage with him. Like, I thought he was just going to sign my guitar. So I took my guitar backstage. I thought, I'll just be happy if he signs it. He's like, "Come up on stage with me and jam." And then I walked out, there was like 15,000 people.
Oh
He
my
didn't tell me
God.
what he didn't tell me what songs we were playing, but thank God that, such a huge fan that I learned every single one of his songs. So I kind of knew like every solo and every point. And his band was the same lineup. I used to practice to this video called or VHS. It was Sacred Fire live in Mexico, one of my favorite Santana, shows, I guess. It's so good. So if you haven't checked it out, anyone hasn't checked it out, go check out that video, or it actually comes, I think, on audio too. It's amazing. It's so inspiring, and that really got me. So
And I love it, Santana, because he says something like, "If your face ain't showing it, then you ain't feeling it." Like when you're playing.
yeah, it's true. We all make these kind of faces. It's like weird, but we're in it. That's the thing. You got to be in the moment, and I think that being present and just leaving everything you can every night on the stage is so important, and especially with the people I've worked with. They always give 110%. Touring with Alice Cooper for like 3.5 years, and he every night 110%, like he puts it all out there. Michael Jackson, everyone that I've been around and worked with, and Steve Vai, everybody, and you just kind of take from that. And also when I was a kid, I always dedicated guitar music, trying to better myself every
That's
day
something
now.
else that you did then. Were you just literally practicing every day? And I love the fact that you said you were out playing gigs as well at a young age, because I think that's so important as well, isn't it? To actually get out there and earn your chops and learn how to play live in front of an audience and with a band.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that when you're in playing in a pub band in Adelaide, Australia, I was 15. I had to cake on the makeup, bring out my hair, pretend to be older. And then as soon as like the lead singer was like, oh, we have 15-year-old guitar playing, I'm like, really? You have to say that? And then the bouncer would be like, out. So I don't get paid half the night and I get really pissed off. But no, it was actually really good because you had to play good. You had to entertain people because they're not an easy crowd to please, you know? A drunken Australian pub crowd, no, they're not easy. And you get shit thrown at you. So
I think you did all right. You did all right. So when was that moment then when you realized, like, okay, I've kind of got my break. You know, I'm on the path to great things now.
Well, I signed my first management contract when I was 14, last school when I was 15. I opened for Steve Vai when I was 14 and then toured around and I opened for ZZ Top when I was 16. And then
that's nuts.
18. Yeah, so it's crazy, but I just worked really hard. And I was so adamant about like wanting to do this for the rest of my life. I kind of told everybody that I'm moving to America. I want to have a platinum record. I want to, you know, tour the world. And I kind of told everybody it's that to kind of make it happen because otherwise I would feel, you know, so yeah, it's just a lot of work and it continuously is. I mean, you just got to, for me, I'm just like bettering myself as a guitar player, writer, everything all the time. Like you never stop, you know, being in this industry. It's 24/7. It really is. And I really love it. But moving to America and signing my first record contract was the turning point, you know, signing with Jimmy Iovine and Interscope and having like, you know, that whole situation going on, you know, around you, like, because I just got off a boat from Australia, so I'm like, what the hell is this? Like coming to LA, you know, it's like wild. But been here 16 years now.
Were you completely on your own?
My mum came with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so she stayed with me for a bit, and then she had to go back and work, and then my sister came over, and then yeah, so they kind of went back and forth. So it's good to have family around because the difference of like living in a small town like Adelaide, Australia, then coming to LA was quite, you know, quite the move for sure.
It's a shock to the system, I can imagine. And you mentioned some great names that you've worked with, like from Steve Vai, Michael Jackson, Santana, just like it's a long list. Is out of all of the artists that you've worked with, is there one that has made you kind of really push, up your game basically?
Definitely when I got the call to work with Michael Jackson, that was crazy. You know, when Michael called me and he's like, "You're watching your videos on YouTube and you know what I'm looking for and all this stuff." And I was actually working with Diane Warren in the studio cutting a vocal on a song we're working on, and I got a message through MySpace at the time when that was popular. Now it's like non-existent. But so I was like, I went into the engineer room and I was like, oh my God, I got a message from you know, Michael Jackson, his MD, and they want me to come in. Like, what? Like, this is crazy shit. And I was like, and then they called me that night, learn Beat It, Do Diana, want to be starting something, come in the next morning and play it for Michael. And then Michael came in, sat down on the couch, wanted to hear it really loud. And I was so nervous. I was probably like the most nervous I've ever been, I would say, like, because it was just Michael sitting on a couch, the you know, the lights were dimmed. He wanted my amplifier super loud, and I was just like standing there staring at him. And that was really, you know, he was one of the greatest entertainers ever. I mean, next to Prince, you know, who I worked with too. You know, they're incredible. I mean, and that he definitely made me up my game. I mean, everyone around, you know, because you just sort of, I don't know, there's some energy that he sort of left us all with, I guess. And I wish he was still around. It was incredible time working with him. It really was.
It's incredible. Such an experience for you, for sure.
Wild.
Does it affect your playing when you're nervous?
I don't get nervous that often, to be honest with you.
Do you
not? I don't. No, I don't. I mean, I want the show to go well, like beforehand, but I don't, like, aside from when, obviously, you know, playing for Michael, or when you're in a situation where you're going to be a part of somebody else's thing, that's when I kind of get a little more pressure put upon myself. But usually before a show, I do get like anxious, I should say, because I want the show to go well. Because I want people that have bought the ticket to get their money's worth. I want people to be entertained. You know, you always, because as an artist, you're there to serve people. You know, you're not like, it's not this whole bravado thing where you're lucky to see me. Like some people come out, it's like, no, you got to, you know, you want to move people. You want people to have a good time and escape, you know, reality and all of that, and just have a blast. that's, and we have a blast too, me and my band on the stage. So it's kind of, this situation where it's just all togetherness, really. There's no divide. That's the most powerful thing about playing a show and with music. I think it's the most powerful form of magic because there's no divide. It's better than church because you just, you know what I mean? Everyone just comes together. You can feel the same thing. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's really wonderful.
You must be missing that a hell of a lot right now. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it's weird having my album come out, which I've placed around me here.
Yes, on vinyl, very nice.
On vinyl. I know, I just got it. Just my assistant brought it on today, and I was like so excited. But yeah, weird having an album coming out and not being able to play shows. I played a live stream at the Whiskey, but there was like 5 cameramen there, and I'm gonna do another live stream pretty soon and a few other things. But it's weird singing to the camera and not like that many people. So I'm hoping that when the world gets safe again, we can get out there pretty soon. But I think the drive-in shows are doing pretty good right now, so we'll see what happens.
Would you do a drive-in show then?
Yeah, I mean, if it was yeah. I mean, honestly, I would play someone's backyard party or whatever at this point. People stayed away or some whatever at this point, because it's like we just miss playing live so much. And when I was rehearsing with my band and we had the masks on, it was like lugging our gear up the steps and just getting in there, even the Whiskey for rehearsals and run through. It was like, it's so exhausting with everything going on. You know what I mean? You just have to be so careful, and I can't wait for that to just kind of all go away and for us to have the freedom again to entertain and to go to shows. I'm a huge music fan too, so I miss seeing live shows.
So the new album is out today. It's called O. Now you made this in 28 days or something. Is that normal for you to make it so quick?
It's not normal. No, I mean, Marty and I, we're really good friends. I've known Marty Frederick since I was like 20 years old, and he's done so much stuff with Aerosmith, and he's just a great friend of mine, and he's a great producer. I was over in Nashville writing, for the past couple of years, I was like experimenting, working with other artists, writing for like Japanese artists, doing, corporate gigs and whatnot. And then I was like, I want to make a record. And I went on this trip making a hip hop record with all these different hip hop producers. It was kind of weird. And I was like, this is where I want to go. It's like guitar, and beats and stuff. So it kind of made sense. It was cool, right? It was and I have a whole record still that exists like that. But then when I met with Marty and we did the song Rescue Me, was the first song we cut. I got back to LA and he sent me the demo, and it just sounded like where I wanted to go. So I text Marty, and he was in Vegas with Aerosmith, and I said, hey, will you produce my album, Marty? I'd love that. He's like, yeah, I'm totally down. So let's do it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So booked a ticket, went in the next month, and we just started writing it and recording it. And 28 days at his studio and his home studio. And we had a couple of other co-writes, one with Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue.
Yeah.
He sent some lyrics through, and which were wild. I mean, I didn't expect, he was having shoulder surgery at the time, Nikki, and then I met him backstage with Alice Cooper at a Hollywood Bowl show or something. And how that came about was really cool. And he sent me these like wild, kind of dark, I would say like dark Bowie lyrics that kind of describe sort of the, the real sort of, I don't know, kind of dark side of LA, like Streams of Consciousness.
What's that one? Streams of Consciousness, isn't it?
Yeah. So he sent me those lyrics through, and we just kind of put that music together, me and Marty, and did that within a few hours. We sort of put that all together, because once I got his email with all the lyrics, I'm like, I called him up, it's like, thank you so much. That's so cool. And I was like, blown away. And I wrote Crawling Out of the Dark with Candy Carpenter. She's an awesome country singer, songwriter. And it was actually a dark country song. And it was
it? That's actually my favorite song on the record, actually. I love that. And and there's another one that's Sinners, what's it called? Sinner's
Hymn. Yeah.
I mean, the guitar playing on that is just insane.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
One of my favorite guitar parts that I've heard from you on that track. It's incredible.
I really appreciate that. That song, that was actually written a little bit before going in, and I had this sort of narrative. It's basically like a blues man sort of story. You know what I mean? Going to every city, messing up, drinking again. The demons are following to the next city. It's like a Robert Johnson kind of classic, narrative. It was more like the lyrics I just wrote first for that song, and we put the music to it afterwards. But finished that up with Marty, and then because I was listening to a lot of '90s stuff too, like In Excess and Nine Inch Nails, and so much different stuff making this record. U2 and Nirvana, Hendrix. I don't even know. I was listening to all this stuff, but
It's quite eclectic, actually. I can hear, like, when you mention all those influences, what you were listening to at the time. I can hear that in the record, because none of the songs sound samey on it at all. So that's what I like about it.
thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a record where I didn't want to bore myself, like, because I get easily bored. So I didn't want to make something. Wanted people to put on their car and sort of feel like I don't want to turn this off, because every song is different, but yet still cohesive. I think with the production and everything. So yeah, and we experiment with guitar tones as well and a bunch of different things. So it was a fun experience.
So Crawling Out of the Dark, is it a personal song, or what's the story behind that track?
Of course, yeah. It's a very personal song, because it was Candy Carpenter's story, a bit of, my story with some different relationships I've been in, and then also a couple of friends' stories. So kind of compiled them all together and made this song where, a lot of the lyrics in the verses come off like, what happened to my friends, what happened to me, we just compiled it, and we thought, let's do a song that's kind of like going to help people in a way. Like, it's sort of like at first it was more like a Chris Stapleton kind of dark sort of country track, and then when Marty heard it, he's like, I really dig that, you should put it on the record. So I went into the vocal booth with my PRS, and just sang it and played it. I did like 4 or 5 times, and we just kept the one take of me like just playing, because you would think like that song would need an acoustic, but I wanted to do electric, because I was like, I don't know, that's really been done that many times before, of just an electric guitar with vocals, you know what I mean? Like then bringing in some violins and stuff like that. But yeah, that song definitely, I hope that it helps people. That's really what it's all about, when you put stuff out there like that. And yeah.
No, it's a great one. It's a great one. But it kind of got me thinking, actually, when I heard it, because it's like, for me, this whole journey thing with learning how to play the guitar, and with everything that we're going through right now, I feel like it saved me in a way. It stopped me going crazy, because obviously all my work stopped and everything. So it was like, learning to play has really helped me. So the music has kept me sane. Has there been moments for you like that, where you feel like actually having your music, having the guitar, has kind of got you through some bad times?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this industry is crazy. So it's not only like this time that's going on right now with everybody. You go from 0 to 100 like all the time, like the industry. So it's not like, people think, oh, it's great all the time because they go on your Instagram and it's all like great photos. But no, you don't like take photos of crying on the floor in the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah. Breakdown, throwing things. Not that I do that often, but it's like stuff like that. People don't understand how like it kind of messes with your mind if you don't have the right people around you to have the right friends to vent to. I have a lovely cat too, and my partner and everything, and you just like kind of be able to just sort of level yourself out with the right surroundings, because this industry can drive you nuts. Like, because if you get caught up in it, with success and all this stuff, and it's like, sure, that comes and goes, but the bottom line is, when I pick up my guitar and I sit down on wherever and I'm playing it, that brings me great joy, and that's where it starts and ends. You know what I mean? Like forever. So and just writing good songs, and the best songs that I can write, and putting them out there, and hope people come to the shows, and that's all you can do, is just do your best, and your best differs from all the time. So
I just feel like, for me, it's really, it's the one time I could stop my mind overthinking everything, and I can just sit there, even though I can't play that well and I can't play that that much, but it just focuses me to think about something other than all the other crap that's going on up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's meditation.
Yeah.
For sure. It really is, because that's all that's kind of going on. It's like when I'm just sitting around with my, guitars, and especially you get a good tone going on or whatever, and I could just play for hours. When I was younger, I would play for 6, 7 hours in my bedroom. I wouldn't be homework at all. I know I'd lock the door. Actually, I'd be happy when I got sent to my room. So I would purposely do bad things and then be sent to my room. I was like, awesome, because I got to put on, Santana records, Jimi Hendrix, and learn all those, solos and everything. So yeah, I mean, it definitely does bring me a lot of peace for sure.